Welcome to Driven, the Unscripted Success podcast, with your hosts, Mike Mannino and Nariman Hamden, bringing you insights and stories on achieving personal, professional, and financial success.
Hi, everybody. It's Michael Mannino, and welcome to Driven Unscripted Success podcast. Today on the podcast, we're interviewing professionals who share their experience with you, the audience, on how they got to where they're at today. And we got Tim Hanold, which is sign language you just taught me today, from Serenity Hospice in Virginia. Do me a favor to tell everybody about yourself, how you got to where you're at today.
Yeah, Michael, thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Appreciate some time to chat here. Yeah, so it's from here to there. There's multiple steps, I guess, in that journey. But I'll tell you a little bit about some of maybe the key elements. Grew up in Pennsylvania, in between two Mennonite cornfields. So
Mennonite cornfields.
Yeah, two totally country bumpkin. So I had this great upbringing where I was organic, free range running children. We were outside just biking, running, climbing trees, and it was really
best childhood ever.
I mean, I can compare it like 1-to-1, but I would have to say it was really terrific, and really blessed to have an awesome twin sister, kind of best friend that has been there, with me along all these points in the journey. But we had a lot of fun, really healthy, positive upbringing. So thanks, Mom, Dad. And from there, undergrad at Penn State. So that was fun and certainly a transformative time for me, and becoming an adult, making good choices, having fun too along the way. And then I jumped into work. I moved to New York City, and so I was there for 20 years, both in all types of healthcare. But some of the probably more salient points were I did medical surgical device deals for a company called Covidien. Got to understand how hospital systems work, especially purchasing behaviors. And then I had this great opportunity. Went to grad school. It's pretty funny. I went to grad school with a focus on sports, and I wanted to be Jerry Maguire, and that was going to be my jam.
Show me the money.
Absolutely. And so I was like, all right, I'm going to be the next, big agent for LeBron. He was up and coming in his career at that point. Obviously, a legend, arguably the GOAT, I guess. And I got this call out of left field, and it was this gentleman asking me what I thought about elder care. And I'm a pretty, polite individual. Without kind of laughing out loud, I said, I don't. You got the wrong guy. Let me see if there's anybody else within my network I can connect you to, but thanks for the call. And so I called up, my sister, her name's Kristen, and I said, Chris, I just got this really random call. And so she's a clinician. She's also a smart individual. She looked him up on the the internet and was like, you know what? This is a really smart, sophisticated model. You're not going to get it. You're not clinical. It's going to take you a little while to kind of get behind this, but they have this really well built out clinical model on how to take care of the elderly in the home through nurses, social workers, and then the support and oversight of those caregivers. So she's like, you should take the interview. So I did. And I met, what I thought was the smartest operational and clinical team I've ever met. And I was like, my goodness. And they're going to give me an opportunity to come in here and help them stand up the sales and marketing engine for the company. And so that was that. But I mean, that was a good example in which being open to things in life and just kind of widening the aperture and kind of continue to redefine what success and enjoyment would look like. Because, I was heading towards, a job
Jerry
with totally had jobs queued up with Major League Soccer, the NBA, really felt good about the connections and everything I was building there in New York City, and ended up in elder care. And my goodness, and this was, by the way, it was in 2008. So,
Everything hit the fan.
Everything hit the fan, but healthcare, very stable, needed.
Yes.
And I was, hindsight 2020, incredibly fortunate from a career path. So my career really was able to kind of just accelerate and take off after that. But also it was something in which it was my values on what I was looking for in life was also changing and morphing, in which more and more I was thinking about how do I contribute to community, society? How do I, do good by doing good? Nothing against sports. I love sports, so much fun. Go Penn State, we are. I love college football. But yeah, it was something that I got so drawn into. And it's took, a number of years. I was kind of maturing those leadership roles around what it means for the people that work there, the clinicians, the providers, the caregivers, what it means for the families, what it means obviously for the patient. So anyway, and then that took me to a number of other really terrific opportunities within healthcare, which I'd be happy to talk more about.
So you're in is your main space right now a hospice?
Yeah, so currently I'm a partner of Serenity First Hospice. We're based out of Richmond, Virginia, but we serve multiple communities in Virginia, most notably east and west of us here. And I also serve as an executive chairman for Beach House Center for Recovery, which is substance use mental health treatment center in East Florida. A beautiful 5-acre campus there in Juno Beach. And also still involved with I was the previous CEO of a home care company called Caravantage. We service the Mid-Atlantic based out of Richmond, but cover at this point Virginia, Maryland, DC, Delaware, North Carolina, South Carolina. So we're also in your,
Nice.
your backyard now too, Michael. And I was the CEO there for almost 8 years and still serve as as a kind of a senior advisor there.
Nice. Awesome. That's fantastic. Talking about your space in hospice, there's a lot of competition in that space. What sets you guys apart? What comes easy to you that other people find almost impossible?
Yeah, it is, agree, a competitive space, but I think there's room for a lot of providers who care and that provide
Yes.
quality service. So I'm enthusiastic about as many people being in the market with helping hands and hearts as possible. So, but for us, I mean, we have incredibly high patient and family satisfaction. And you happen to take a look at our Google reviews, 4.9. So that doesn't that
Nice. How many reviews, if you don't mind me asking?
yeah, it's close to 20 reviews. So
Nice.
some
That's not easy. That's 4.9 is not easy to get anywhere.
no, it's
Anything,
not. It's definitely not. It's definitely not. And
especially in
so
hospice.
yeah, it's something in which if they are going to take the time, especially after going through what they did, right, and take the time to recognize a provider, a hospice in this case, then you either did something really well or really wrong. That's because it's they're in the middle of that or the starting really of that healing process and grief and things like that. But you ask like some of our hallmarks and differentiation is we recognize all of the stakeholders, I would call them, but what I would say are our customers at every level of the journey. So first of all, we look at our referring partners, whether it's, physicians or hospitals or nursing homes or assisted living facilities in which we get the call, we that they're an incredibly important customer to us, in which we respond quickly, ethically, and are a very excellent collaborator with them, and work really kind of like hand in hand in regards to kind of that mutual collaboration on care for that patient and the family. So that's one piece right up front. We're a growing company, but we still have a kind of a core team of leaders and clinicians who have been here for a long time, and a really important part of what I think are my customers, my internal customers, like the nurses, the social worker, to our liaison team, to HR, you name it, right? So everyone involved, and it's you take care of the providers, they take care of the community, keeping them, engaged and feeling supported, and essentially pursuing this mutual passion we have to take care of, families the right way. And then it is a business, so we're smart and efficient about what we do, but we don't cut corners on things. So whenever it comes to medical supplies, needs, an extra couple hours of care that we might not get paid for, we do it anyway because it's in front of us. And, kind of like the theme is take care of, this patient and family like it's your own. So those are some things that maybe on paper sometimes aren't as easy to quantify, but it does. That's why I mentioned our customer satisfaction. And then also within healthcare, you have stars ratings and a thing called SHP scores. And we, are 4.7 and above on all those things too. So that means we're taking care of people the right way.
That's really, you know what? That's really the key of any business. We're talking about hospice, but that really is the key. I was showing somebody how to become a contractor, and I said, he goes, "What do you got to concentrate on?" I said, "Just take care of the customers." It's too simple. It really is that simple. If you take care of the customers, everything takes care of itself.
That's right. That's right. Yep. And hand in hand, obviously, taking care of the team, and in my case,
Yes,
the clinical team, happy providers equal happy patients.
yes, yes, exactly. Yeah, yeah, exactly. I think I was on Delta flight recently, and they said our only concern is our passengers and our crew. So
Yeah,
it's really, it's one thing, but they made it sound like two. It's really kind of cool.
sure.
People, if someone wants to get, yeah, I got a question for you. If someone wants to get better at what you do, what would you suggest to them? What tips and tricks would you give them?
And let me define that as in leading healthcare.
Yes,
Okay. Yeah. Be humble and learn every day. You know,
that's
you
great
know,
advice.
your
That's
ego
great
is,
advice.
yeah, your ego is not your amigo.
You got that from one of our podcasts. If someone said that, that's brilliant. Your ego is not your amigo. That is
Yeah.
just so true.
Yeah. I mean, there are some practical steps though. So,
Let's go
um,
with those two.
yeah,
Good
totally.
general term. I like that.
Leadership steps. I mean, I think every day is about listen, learn, lead, right? So, you got to be a leader and who's, making those calls, making judgment calls, thinking through things, being kind of like, the final check off and provider of direction. So those are all inherently important for an executive or senior leader in any organization, but kind of, it doesn't go lead, learn, listen. You flip it around, and you're consuming a lot of information quickly, and from trusted individuals. Hire the best people you can. Don't be the smartest person in the room because if you are, you're not gonna stretch to
You're the
any.
bottleneck.
You're the bottleneck. Totally.
If you're the smartest one in
Love
the
that.
room, you're the bottleneck.
That's it. That's exactly right. I've been really fortunate to be able to recruit and bring in and retain some terrific leadership through all types of disciplines. Whether it's you think about basic business and healthcare, from business development to operational to clinical to finance to HR and in talent acquisition, people business. Just having the right people who are there that culturally fit with kind of your own style and what you're looking to accomplish as a company, because as you know, culture really dictates a lot of what happens or doesn't happen within a company. For me over the last number of years, I've sought out and have been fortunate to connect with a number of executive leaders in different types of businesses and spaces in which we can have good authentic conversations. I a good book. McKinsey wrote a book, CEO Excellence, and there was like six key principles to it. And but there was a couple parts in the book that talks about how being the CEO or the president or the founder or owner of a company is.
Head bottle washer.
Yeah, there no doubt there's kind of that servant leadership mentality, but it's also one of the loneliest positions in the world, and it's really asymmetrical because you have a board on top of you, and then you've got your executive team and leadership team, and then the rest of the company underneath, especially for larger orgs. And it's something that it's really, really healthy to find and to connect to others that are living that kind of like same shared experience. I'm part of this group called YPO, Young Presidents Organization, becoming the state chair this year in Virginia. So really, really excited about that. But on a monthly basis, meet with a number of individuals and people who are leading similar size or larger businesses. And we have an opportunity as kind of a your own kind of like personal board of directors. So I encourage that you don't necessarily have to, join an organization as such, but you have people within your network that you can really bounce ideas off and have good, authentic conversation. Also, people that can hold you accountable and tell you the truth in a place where a lot of times, especially the larger a company gets, as a senior leader, you're not getting, 100% fidelity of the information. At times, maybe you're kind of getting more what people want you to hear.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, you laid that out really well. I appreciate that. What is in your entire career, what is one of the craziest things or something that popped up, one of your challenges that you had to smash and fix, the problem solve? We call it the problem solver, the fire stomper out, or what's the biggest fire you had to stomp out in your career and how'd you
Yeah.
do that?
Well, there's a multitude of fires, that happen over the course of a career, and so some much smaller than others. But if you're working with human beings, there's something that comes up pretty consistently. So,
Every minute,
yeah,
every
yeah,
minute.
things happen. Things happen. Humans helping humans, helping humans.
Oh,
Um,
there you go. I like that.
yeah, we in a previous role, I was serving as the CEO whenever we had to go through a really difficult time around a cyber incident. One of our third parties that was responsible for kind of our case management system, so all the information would flow in and out of this, got hit with a cyber incident. And fortunately, there was no information that was extrapolated from it, but it created a real bottleneck's not the word. It's like we had to go back to kind of the
Almost shut down because in your industry, if he shut down, people can die.
yeah, it created a massive curveball. And so that's something that it took quite some time, energy and perseverance and the team just really staying on top of it night and day for us to essentially kind of rebuild a number of systems so that we could provide the services, both a great place to work for our caregivers and our teams, and then also, the services we were providing the community for, the elderly and their families. That was a real gut check. And so, you've got the right people around you whenever you get the kind of response that I saw from my leadership team all the way through to the frontline contributors. And hard, definitely hard, but we were able to pull out of that the right way. But it impacts, everything from service delivery to revenue cycle management to risk mitigation to everything. And we were able to get through it because we had a great team and just a team that kind of pinned their ears back and went to work hard on it every day.
Yeah, sounds yeah, that does sound like a fire that you had to stomp out. Here's a quick question for you. If you had to go back to your 20s, knowing all that you know now, I don't know, are you 20 now or you could be 29, I wouldn't even know.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm 48.
Okay, so you're not 20. If you can go back to your 20s, what would you do different? What would you do the same?
Yeah, in my 20s, I was living in New York City. I don't think I'd change that. That was a blast. That was
Okay,
that
well,
was what a incredible
experience.
experience. Yeah, for sure. And I probably would have challenged myself to put myself in more uncomfortable situations, reaching outside of my comfort group within my own network of people. I had a really great, comfortable group of folks that I would spend my time with both professionally and personally. And looking back, um, there was a number of ways that I was like serving the community. So the Bowery Mission was part of an organization called Redeemer Presbyterian Church, and there was a lot of things we were doing to, serve the homeless and things like that. And that was great. I wish I would have done more of that.
Really?
But
That seems
yeah,
like the hard work.
yeah, and I think a lot of people do this. Like whenever you getting there is 99% of the issue and effort, and then once you're there, you just feel you kind of light up with a lot of like dopamine, right? You're just like,
Yeah,
all
yeah,
right,
yeah. It does feel good.
you're
Yeah, yeah.
helping, and it's really obvious the kind of difference you're making in someone's life in that exact moment, right? Someone who's, an opportunity to get, a warm meal, a safe place to sleep. Those are types of things, and more so than anything, some sort of like
That
real
was in New
human
York.
interaction. Yeah, that was in New York.
Yeah. Is
Um,
there a big need out there?
there is, for sure, especially I think in metropolitan cities. But yeah,
Yeah.
to answer your question though, it would have been continue to kind of like press myself outside of my comfort zone, outside of my own kind of like network, and continue to look to try even more different things.
That's great advice for people in their 20s. I appreciate it. What is one of the greatest lessons you've learned in your career or life?
Many lessons. I think,
Learning experiences life.
yeah, yeah, it's well, one is that I don't think there's any such thing as kind of like work-life balance. I think there's seasons in life, and you just have to be honest with yourself and the people around you, especially, family, loved ones, and at some point when, younger professionals have a family, it's being really very, kind of honest and precise around what type of season you're in, how long you believe that will last, and then what are the offsets and sacrifices that go with it. I've
Count the cost.
yeah, count the cost. And so it's and that's, I mean, not just okay, that's great. Just know where you're at and
Hmm.
what the offsets are. So I think that's really, 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 really vital. Um, and again, something that, you heard a little bit of an anecdote a little bit earlier, but you think you got a plan, you got your 5-year plan, 15, 20, whatever it is. I heard someone, I asked someone before, like, what's your 5-year plan? They're like, keep breathing. I'm like,
Great plan. Great
great
plan. I
plan,
think that's the
great plan.
best plan out.
But it's but
Keep breathing.
it really is. I mean, of course, yes, we all have, certain direction and certain kind of expertise that we bring, to, the business world and so forth, but just always being incredibly open on what's in front of you and just having that kind of like mental malleability, right?
Mental malleability. I like that.
Taking you back to that time where that executive recruiter called me and I was like, elder care, what are you talking about, man? Like,
That's not in the plan.
down the
That's not in the
plan.
5-year plan.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, that's not cool. No way. What? And then it was a matter of 2 weeks, and then I
At the
just
job.
got yeah, well, yeah, that I was like, I made that mental and emotional flip, and I was like, why not? Let's go for this. And then, I mean, and I couldn't have, objectively in my mind, I couldn't have picked a better path. I loved it.
You help people for a living. It's awesome. Sounds like things are going really well for you in your business. And thinking about the future, and if you give anybody some advice, have you ever considered ways of creating passive income? I think we talked about this a little bit earlier. I think I know where we're going to go with this. Something basically make money on you kind of hands off.
Yeah, yeah. You and I had an opportunity to kind of chat earlier before even the recording started. I'm fond of real estate. I gotta say, I'm really lucky to be married to my wife for a myriad of different reasons, but she has an incredible aptitude and understanding of real estate.
Awesome.
And we got involved early, and what was a hobby became like a real business. And so,
Well, just real quick, briefly explain how the hobby became a business. But I love talking about real estate. Everybody's giving me different ideas. And a lot of, I hate to say this, a lot of people on my podcast really don't have a way to make passive income. And this is the best.
yeah, it's passive income. It helps certainly with some good offsets with taxes, and I mean, obviously, capital management and things like that. It's part of a portfolio. It can't be just like the only thing. But for my wife and I, two pretty hard-charging professional careers. She was in finance whenever she and I met. I was on the healthcare side, as you've heard, and as we were creating kind of family wealth, if you will, different places to deploy that, certainly, stocks and things of that nature. But it was really it was like, hey, for example, one of our first purchases together, one of her best friends lived in Seattle, Washington. And by the way, we were in Brooklyn, New York at this point. And she's like, yeah, we should do that. And then, but had these like really great points. And then, we're early in our marriage and I'm like, happy wife, happy life. So
No,
let's go
you
for it.
listen to the right person.
Totally. And then I was like, oh man, she actually has a real knack for this. This is great. And
Yeah,
then anytime we would move from somewhere, instead of selling the property, you'd rent it.
right.
And then also too, and hopefully it's not a once in a generation type thing, but the interest rates that we experienced, with ZERP and everything else like that. I mean, it was something in which we really kind of went after that, and so we're able to acquire a number of properties, during that period of time. And but yeah, start small. You know what another thing does? It really creates great discipline too around budgeting.
Never
So
thought of that. Yeah,
yeah,
that's a great part of it,
yeah, because you're like, ooh, that's a second mortgage I own. Okay, so all
right?
right,
That
what?
you owe,
That's right, and it's like,
not the
what are the?
renters.
Nope, that's right, and what are the mini microeconomics that go with that?
Right.
And so yeah,
The best advice I could give people that listen to the podcast, have a high reserve, whatever you do. Just always
yes.
have money in the bank because if you have money in the bank, there's no problems.
Yeah, as you know, with real estate, there's a lot of high fives and it feels fun, but a couple times a year, you're like, didn't see that coming.
That's what the money in the reserves are for. The
That's what
roof,
it, money's
the
reserved.
siding, the what do you call it? The hot water tank blowing up. There's always something.
Yeah, there was one year we have a beach rental property where we had to change the siding, the windows, and the roof all at once, and it was a
Expensive.
mini liquidity event.
Was it a hurricane of some sort or some kind of damage from the outside?
It was a dated property.
Oh, yeah, you
Yeah.
don't get any money from insurance on that. Sorry.
Nope. No insurance on that. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I laugh in sympathy because I've been there. Quick question, wrapping up the interview. I thank you very much. That was really good. What do you got planned exciting for your company for the next 6 to 12 months? What do you got going?
Yeah, so when we're talking about Serenity First Hospice, we've been growing quite a bit organically, which is great. We'll continue to grow geographically through de novos. We'll be launching some new offices this year, potentially looking at other states, but I see this as good long-term durable growth, and so going to do it the right way, do it with the right pace, but do it in a smart, intentional way. We'll look at potential service line extensions, potentially palliative and things like that. So that's like that's a service offering that would happen more upstream versus hospice, terminal prognosis of 6 months to live. And then continue to just build out a great liaison business development team. And our mantra here is that we want this to be an aspirational place to work, especially for our clinicians. So continue to
Yeah,
really really take care of them, and that will continue to back up our online Google reviews.
there you go. Keep it up. Hey, Tim, thank you very much for being on the podcast. We're going to let you go. And for everybody else, please like and subscribe to the video for more videos like this. If you have any comments, put them in the comments and we'll try and answer them as soon as possible. Tim, if someone would like to contact you, how would they do that?
Yeah, so you can find me on LinkedIn. That's a great way to kind of professionally connect. And yeah, just Tim Hanold on LinkedIn. It's a
And old, I like that.
quick.
I'll never forget that now.
That's
I
right, the
know
sign
I
language
know the
artist.
sign language. Hey, Tim, thanks a lot for being on the show. I appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Thanks for listening to Driven, the Unscripted Success Podcast. Want to share your story? Apply to be a guest at drivensuccesspodcast.com/guest.